one of my Discord users threw a challenge my way. Thank you, Jan, if I'm pronouncing you correctly. And that is to type a zip function. I copied the text over here. Let's go first through what a zip function is. A zip function takes an array of iterables, in this case 2 arrays, and it then pairs them. So we can see that the item here is destructured into the checked, which is a Boolean value here, and the icon string label here. So it paired the first index with a first index here, the second index with a second index here. And if we extended this to 3, then it would pair the first one with the first one with the first one here, and so on and so forth. So let's get to actually typing this. And before we do that, let's figure out what it is, what kind of type conversion we're actually wanting to do. So our arguments are typed as such. We have like an A, we have a B array, and it keeps going like this. And we want to convert this to an array of A, B, and the rest as such. So there are a few challenges here. We want to unwrap this value here, so that is just A. And then we want to build tuples out of the inner arrays here. And that entire thing must be a tuple again. Since we're dealing with a generator here, we don't actually need the last step, but let's also type the last step in case we weren't using a generator here. Let's start with the trivial case of, with the easy case of just unwrapping this. And let's call this unwrap. It takes a type T. And then we're just going to ask, is this an array or iterable? And if it is such, then we're going to return all the inner types of that array. And otherwise, we're going to go into an error case, which is another. We can demonstrate what this does if we have a type C here, for example, and I just go unwrap of a number array here. If I hover over this, we're going to see that this becomes to actually the type just number. So we extracted the inner value here. And the next challenge is to actually convert, to get this inner tuple here, just this tuple here. And for that, we need to process the entire array here. The way we process arrays in TypeScript with types is the traditional functional way. So we are going to split it into a head and a tail section, then convert the head and apply it recursively to the tail. So let's call this zip pair tuple of T. And we are going to ask ourselves, again, is T of a shape head here with a tail? We also need to infer this. And in the false case, this is not a valid input. We're going into the never. And in the positive case, we'll be, let's just return the head for now so that we have something that happens. If we look at type of C of zip tuple, for example, and let's input here like a string array and then a number array. Then we're going to have just a string array in an array. That's not quite what we want because we need to still unwrap this. So let's unwrap it. Looking at this, we see we just have a tuple of strings. So we kept the first one. We have this A here. We don't have the rest of the tail. So let's apply this recursively to the tail with zip tuple. And put in the tail here. And if we hover over this, we see we're nearly there actually already. We have a string, then the number, and then a ... never. And that's because this pattern only works if we have at least two elements in the array. We need to add the other cases. That's all it means. So let's do that. If t extends the empty array, then we're going to return the empty array. Otherwise, if t extends the, if we only have the head, then we're going to return the unwrapped head only. And in the other cases, let me just format this. And in the other cases, we're going to return the sorry, I'm still sick. My brain's not working. The long form one here. So if we hover over this, we can see we get string number. If I add another tuple here, another array here of boolean, for example, then our tuple is now string number boolean. If we wanted to make this to the actual zip type now, then we can just go for zip tuple of t and slap a array, turn that into an array, and then we could apply zip on this, and we can see we have a the zip tuple of this to an array. Now we don't need this because the generator, we type the individual yields, not the actual thing. So let's type this thing as well. So we have a t that extends a two-dimensional array, and we're going to return for a generator the zip tuple here of t, and iterables is of type t here. It's going to give us an exception here because it doesn't know of what type this is. We can just assert this. I'm going to trust Jan that his code is correct. And this is just a zip tuple of t. Right. So if we go down here, we don't have any errors here. If I hover over this, we can see checked as a boolean. If I hover, we see the type hint here. It is exactly what he wanted. And if we add here more types, we can see we get also the next boolean here. So that seems to be all we need to type the zip. I hope that was helpful. If you like what I'm doing, feel free to subscribe or join my Discord. And I think I'm going to bed now.